Viewers, you are watching Master TV. I'm your host Ayaz Morris, and as you know that I bring a different guest on my show to know their story and their views about on different topics. Today I have very special guest with me, Mr. Giovanni Soledad. He is a Chief Technical Advisor ARC Project ILO Islamabad, and this is his first time he's visiting in Pakistan. Today he was in Karachi, and we got opportunity to meet with him and to interview him. So thank you so much for your time and being with us.
Thank you for having me, Ayaz. Thank you for having me in your very beautiful show.
Thank you so much once again. You're from Philippines, so this is your first time. You're visiting first time in Pakistan. How you
Yes.
like Pakistan?
I like it so much. So I've been to Lahore. I'm based, although I'm from the Philippines, I'm based in Delhi in India. So we crossed the border between India and Pakistan through Amritsar and Wagh border, and then so to Lahore. So I've been to Lahore.
Yes.
I've been to Islamabad, and now yesterday we arrived in Karachi. I like your place very much. Very clean, very green, and the people are so warm and nice. It reminds me of my own country where people are so warm and nice also. No?
Wonderful, wonderful to know about this, and that's what Pakistani. They are very hospitable and they love to interact with people. I would like to know your journey, your education, your background, and then you came through this project management.
Okay. Yes.
So how this journey began?
Yes. So my background is, like I said, I grew up in the Philippines, and I was raised during a very difficult time in our history, which was the time of martial law, right? And so when I was in high school and early days of my college, we were always asking that there will be change in society, that the poor of society would improve their lives, right? And so that pushed me to study sociology,
Yeah.
which is the study of social interaction and how people behave in groups and everything. I thought that by studying that, I could be equipped in helping change society for the better. So that was my undergraduate degree, and I also used that as my degree for my master's. And after that, I went into the NGO world, right? Development world, the world of CSOs, really in the front lines of the fight against poverty in my home country, in the Philippines. And that included helping out indigenous peoples, which would be the poorest of the poor, right? Because they are in the remote regions, they don't have access to the basic services, education, water, and their own children did not have access to education. And that started my awareness of how there was a terrible need to support poor children as well. So that brought me into the world of child protection. And then, but throughout this journey, I realized that when we implement projects for the poor, we implement programs and interventions for the poor. They are usually in the shape of what are called projects, right? We want to change the life of the poor, but we have to do so in 3 years. And during that 3 years, this is our budget. During that 3 years, this is our constraints. This is what we should deliver, like a water system, like a number of books you distribute, number of scholarships you give to the children. So it's always around this field which we call project management. And I realized that if I am to be an effective agent of change, instrument of the improvement of the lives of the poor, then I should be very good at project management. And so that's what led me to this field of project management. And I am a project management professional. Yes, so but now I have worked with the ILO, the International Labour Organization, and I use my background in sociology and project management to help me implement projects that are focused on the elimination of child labor, but also want to solve the bigger issue of adults and parents of these child laborers not having decent work, and therefore they live in poverty, and that's why their children are working as well. So I want to use project management to help solve that problem.
It's a wonderful journey. Do you have faced any hurdles like sometime in face in our career that, oh, maybe I should do this and all this? This was the case with you, or you were very clear in
No,
your.
for me, it was very clear, like I said early on, it was really this commitment to help the poor in society, initially in my own country and now in other places of the world where I think I could be needed. So aside from in my current work, I focus on the elimination of child labor in Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Nepal also, no? And at some point also Afghanistan. And then before this, I was in Africa, in Ghana, and in West Africa. So that is my mission in life, and so I don't get confused about that. It is challenging. There are many challenges along the way because you deal with poverty. You deal with it. Breaks your heart when you see children working. Like for example, the children here.
Yes.
Seeing them when they should be in school, they should be happy playing, but then they are breaking their backs literally. It breaks your heart, but that the more that pushes you to continue, no, and move on.
That's wonderful. Your story is so inspiring story. I just want you to know that through your experience of different countries, what are the challenges we are facing to eliminate this child labor, and what are the problems and the mindset of people and society we need to change?
Yes, a very important question because you cannot, and I said this when I gave the welcome remarks in the morning, you cannot just look at child labor as the problem.
Yes.
It is but a symptom of a bigger problem.
Yes.
And the problem here, the bigger problem is poverty and how adults who should be the ones working do not have access to decent work, to good jobs. And so they don't have income to support the family. And because the family operates as one, they say to their children, or the children themselves say to themselves, I want to work so I can contribute,
Contribute to
right?
the
And they think, why should I study later? Because I need the money now. And so they think short term and they forget the long term, right? So it's poverty and how people in poor and desperate situations think. So they tend to think short term. But what they don't realize is that if you only focus on the now,
No.
right, what will happen? You will not go to school. You will not you will not learn a craft or a skill or a trade. You will not get a degree or diploma. And so when you are now eligible to work because you are of age, you don't get a good job. And when you don't get a good job,
You don't
right?
get good license.
You don't get the good income, you don't get decent work, and then your children themselves are also in child labor, and then this cycle, which we call intergenerational cycle of poverty, it continues and continues. So we have to stop the cycle somewhere, and it's a combination of making sure the children are not working and are in school, preparing to be future workers, not workers now.
In Pakistan, as you mentioned, all over the Asia, most of the part of the Asia, in Pakistan, we have similar challenges, and there's so many problems. And I think that the different organizations and government, they are interested to solve this problem. How, like organization you're working with, the ILO and the other organization, how we can work together to eliminate these problems and come with a better solution in collaboration. What we can work.
Yes, very good point, Ayaz, because you're right. No single agency or organization can solve this problem. It's a very complicated issue. Like I said, you see child labor on the surface, but there's many deeper issues here, right? So you talk of, for example, of poverty and lack of decent jobs. Then you also talk of education. How, for example, in some areas, children don't have access to education. And if there is school nearby, it's sometimes expensive and the quality of the education is not that good. So that student would rather go to work than go to school. And then you also have access to what are called social protection, right? For example, health insurance, employment insurance, all those things, right? If they don't have access to that, if someone gets sick in the family or loses a job, then the whole family collapses, right? So, and then you also talk of values, right, and culture, right? So, for example, sometimes forced marriage, it forces children to not go to school and then enter marriages, and in effect, they start working early also. So, there's a lot of things that are mixed together that cause a problem. And so, the solution should be collaboration, all of us coming together, and depending on our specialization, we should focus on that, but we should be aware that we are all interconnected in our solution. And that's what we promote, for example, in local areas, municipal areas, a convergence approach where there's a system where you see a child that is working. You don't only tell the child, oh, stop working, or I will punish your parents, I will punish you. No, you should rescue the child, but you should make sure that the child gets education, the parents get a job, they have access to social services, and their understanding of the problem also increases. So many agencies working together, government, UN agencies, CSOs, NGOs.
That's wonderful, and I love your conversation. And the time passed so quickly that I don't realize. I just want you to know that what are the similarities between Pakistani culture and although your stay is very brief, but I would like that. What are the similarities between Philippines and Pakistan, and what we can learn from your country to eliminate these child labors and to empower our youth?
Yes, so definitely, like I said, I feel at home in Pakistan because people are so warm and hospitable, and I feel accepted. And then Filipinos also have this tendency to smile and laugh, right? And then I see that with you also, and that again, it makes me very comfortable being here. Now, as to your second question about what we can learn, more or less, the pace of Pakistan and the Philippines are the same in the fight against child labor. There's some things that are working in the Philippines, and there's some things also that are working in Pakistan. But I think one thing going for the Philippines is that it has a very clear program against child labor at the national level, at the central level, and it is the basis for the work of everyone. I mentioned that there should be collaboration, right? That collaboration should be structured in such a way that there is a bigger framework, and then everyone knows what they need to contribute. So we have that, and we have a target based on that. They have a target based on that. So it sort of organizes the work, and you are becoming more effective and efficient. And it's more like managing a project at the national level.
That's fine. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Ayaz.
And it was wonderful to speaking with you and to know about Philippines and about your journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ayaz. Thank you,
Thank you
Ayaz.
so much. Viewers, with this, I would like to end our show, and especially I really want to thank Mr. Giovanni for his wonderful conversation and experience about the child labor, what he is working through. And I think that we need what guest said, that a holistic approach and think out of the box to solve the issues what we are facing now. And Pakistan have this capacity, and they just need to connect all the professional people on one platform to see these issues and resolve the challenges. Once we have done this, and once we are able to clear cut that infrastructure, we will make sure that the child labor will be eliminated from Pakistan, and we will be able to give so many children out of the school the right back to into school and to provide them a good quality life and society. Thank you so much. With this, I thank Mr. Giovanni once again.
Thank you.
And hope you like our show. Please subscribe, like, and share our channel. Thank you so much.